Once upon a time, I was a male stripper, addicted to drugs, alcohol, and sex. Spiraling out of control, I lost myself in the lifestyle. But today, I'm a sober and strong personal trainer, led by my spirit to help others overcome their battles and become the best version of themselves. This is my story. And if you're struggling with something, I promise there is a way out. Now, it all started, I was always into fitness growing up. I left school when I was 15 and got qualified as a personal trainer at 16. Worked in gyms as a fitness instructor and personal trainer, and then jumped around to sales jobs in various kind of fields. I had an opportunity to become a topless waiter, and I started as a topless waiter. It seemed like a pretty good gig as a young guy, serving drinks to girls for $50 an hour, and you're outnumbered, 30 to 1. It was a pretty good time. From there, I progressed, started doing like moonlight shows, bringing my own kit to the waitering gigs, and booking myself right there on the spot. From there, I started doing amateur shows, traveling around Australia just with 4 or 5 guys in the back of a bus, and started to kind of hone the craft. But then at that time, I didn't really think it was a craft. I thought it was just 6 months to get away and travel around, see some of Australia, and then it progressed on more and more. From there, I ended up going to Las Vegas and touring around Canada, Mexico, all parts of America. And, at first it felt like freedom. Traveling the world, parties every night, unlimited women, lots of attention. But then it became my prison. In the end, it wasn't enough. You just keep chasing the high. You know, and it'd be quiet after these shows. Your adrenaline's so pumped up after a show that as soon as it's finished, and as soon as it's quiet in the change rooms or back at your hotel room, it's beyond quiet. The stimulation becomes so much that you continue to chase this stimulation. It's not enough. It's like people that start having one coffee a day, then they want two and three and four, and then by the end the coffee just doesn't do anything. That was same as this. After the show, you'd be there and you'd be thinking, all right, what's next? So you're at the bar, you're having drinks. And from the drinks, you're like, okay, let's find something else. So you're looking for drugs, looking for cocaine. I'm trying to get thrills. I'm trying to take it further. Then from there, you're chasing women. And there's one woman, and that's not enough. You're going for another woman. Sometimes you're going for more. If there's more there, you're going to go for it. Because it was never enough. Then because it wasn't enough, you end up in these situations in places that I didn't even know where I was, in a different country, in hoods that aren't my hood. I stand out like a sore thumb in a lot of these places, and getting myself into some situations just to get on. Someone that's sober wouldn't be doing these things, but because in the end, all it was to chase the high, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't even care how risky or how stupid these situations were, but I just wanted to make sure that I could keep the high going. Some of these times I ended up in places and scenarios that I should never have been in, but that's, the addiction that drives you. I was living for the night and I was dying inside. From the outside, people would have thought, oh, he's having so much fun and he's loving life. He's got all this attention. He's got all these women and all these people cheering for him. But to be honest, I was lonely. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was out of shape. I was supposed to be in shape, but I was out of shape, barely eating enough. Yeah, at, at times it was good, but in the end, it wasn't great. Yeah, most people would have thought I was having fun, but I was dying inside. I was completely empty, stuck in the same cycle, and I couldn't see a way out. You know, sometimes, after the party had finished or after the tour would be finished, so we normally go away for a weekend and we'd be coming back on a Sunday or sometimes a Monday. And again, you have that feeling of quiet, like no juice, no energy. I remember coming back and like it'd be supposed to be a day off to relax and just kind of get some rest and recovery. And the only thing I could think about was getting another bag and going and chasing women and stimulating myself further on my days off. Um, Even sometimes after the party would be done and everyone would go to their room and it'd be finished, and I'd still be doing coke and drinking in my room. Um, and yeah, that's when you know that you're going a bit too far. It's not even a party anymore. You're doing it by yourself. I'd be texting people from back home, you know, just to kind of feel something, just to talk to someone that actually cared about me. Because at the time, I didn't care about myself. I was destroying myself. In the end, it just got worse and worse. I spiraled worse and worse, and I needed to kind of get high to go out and perform. I needed to at least have a couple of shots um, before it, and we always used to say, "Oh, I'm never gonna I'm never gonna get on the coke before a performance." I used to take pride in it and want to be good at it, but in the end, we were doing it before and sometimes during. And at the end of that, then where do you go from there? So again, you're going to end up in bad situations, hanging around bad people, and then you're going to get bad things that are happening to you. I think in the end, to be honest, I ended up just kind of self-sabotaging because I didn't want to do it anymore. And I know there was other people that were, in the same industry, and they were, taking care of themselves and they were doing well and staying clean and, you know, enjoying it to a certain extent without these things. But I don't know. I got, as I said, I got taken over by the lifestyle, and it really took me in, took me deep. Even one time, getting on, um, I ended up in the hoods in Chicago. Like Chicago, I know is not a bad place, and I ended up in some hood there. Ended up in like a subway with these guys trying to score coke, and at the time they thought I was like an undercover cop. So I almost had like a standoff with these guys in this moment, and at no point I didn't even realize the situation I was in. Like I could have been dead, I could have been robbed, but I guess you know when you're high, you'll do stupid things. So I got my way out of that one, but that's only one of many stories. But if you stay tuned, I'll give you a lot more as we go, as these videos come. Um, in the end, as I said, I self sabotaged myself. I didn't really want to be there anymore. And then I'm just, getting fired. But it was actually a massive relief because I was like, okay, if I get fired, beautiful. I'll go home, I'll get clean, and I'll take care of myself. And for a certain period, I did. It was a big relief. I came home from America and, yeah, came back and got clean. So, when I was over there, I was, drinking every day, pretty much doing coke 5 nights of the week, maybe 6 nights. I might have a night off or two here or there just to get some sleep, but then I'd be straight back into it. No matter where we were, no matter what city, whether it be Canada, Mexico, or America, you could find it, and people want to give it to you because you're a male stripper, and they want to party with those guys. So, as I said, I came back and started to get clean, and I wanted to change lanes because I didn't want to be a stripper anymore, but I always wanted to be an actor, and I had done a few acting classes here or there before I went away, and I thought, you know what, I've got to keep my clothes on, and I want to entertain people, and I'm going to be an actor. So little bit by little bit, I started to get into the acting industry, and then, you know, I was staying pretty clean, staying off the alcohol, and you know, this is where addictions kind of creep up. I had a period where it wasn't coke or it wasn't alcohol, but I had a period where I just got like bad smoking weed. So smoking weed every day, you know, yeah, every single night, smoking weed, eating shit, get into kind of a bad habit with that. The see thing about addiction is one addiction might end, but then another one will pop up. Another one kind of rears its head up, and then that addiction, the old ones that you lost, the new one will make up for that, just in a different way, in a different, as a different substance or a different stimulation. So it ended up just the weed for a long time, and then I got some offers because I'd been over to Vegas. I got some offers from different strip clubs or different, shows to then come back. And at first I said, no way, I'm never going to do this again. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done with this lifestyle. But then again, those addictions, they come back and they get you. So I basically came in and started helping with a show, a male review show, with a couple of my close mates that I'm still mates with, today. And we built up this show from nothing. So from 10 to 15 girls at the pits of a nightclub that actually literally smelt like shit. And I started as like the MC, so the host, and I was also setting up the chairs and booking the show and basically doing it all. And I was staying pretty sober. I wasn't drinking too much or partying too much. But then again, old habits, they die hard. So from there, the shows got bigger and the crowds got bigger and it got more crazy, and the attention came back and the flow got going. And at first I said I wasn't even going to dance, but my ego came in and said, oh man, if you're going to be here, you might as well dance and get the cheer and make sure that the girls know that you can do your thing and you want attention. And it just reared its ugly head again. Bit by bit, we made a bigger show. We got better guys. We started to travel to different locations. Then we ended up in bigger and bigger venues with bigger shows and more girls and more drinks and more attention. And there I'm back. I'm back in it. I'm doing the same thing. It wasn't every single night. It wasn't as frequent the shows, but it was every weekend, sometimes midweek. We might have a couple other shows throughout the week. So yeah, I just straight back into it. You know what I mean? After a show, or yeah, after a show. All right, let's get a bag, boys. Let's get going. Come on, after party. Let's go. Let's go talk to the girls. Let's get it going. You know what I mean? Hotels after the shows and after parties, and it was just endless. And I just kept going, and I was back. I was back into it. Um, yeah, and then the addiction took me again full on. Um, yeah, and I'm like the manager of this show, and I'm emceeing the show, and I'm supposed to be telling these young guys, take care of yourself and don't be out of control and take care of the girls and all this sort of stuff, and I'm there getting fucked up again. Until one day I got so fucked up that I actually made a mistake and basically sexually assaulted a woman that didn't deserve it. So I was partying with a few girls and I was having fun with them and being pretty inappropriate with them, but they were welcoming it because we were partying and I was hooking up with these girls and they were enjoying themselves, and I was so fucked up that I basically mistook one of these girls that I was partying with one of the patrons. And I put my head between her breast and shook it around and basically motorboated her. um, and that's obviously the wrong thing to do. you know it's sexual assault, and I did that, and I admit what I did, and I admit I was wrong. And in that moment, she had a boyfriend. her boyfriend fronted me, and we ended up having a fight. And during the fight, 6 of his mates came in, jumped in, and they beat me to a pulp. I was arrested. I was put in the cell. Um, and all this I couldn't even remember. It was only from what I was told. But basically, I woke up the next morning in the cell with bumps and bruises and, black eyes and, you know, eggs on my head and feeling pretty shit. And then I got told that I had assaulted this woman, this poor woman, just standing around doing nothing. And yeah, I was charged. Then from there, I was completely banned from not only the place I was working in, but every single nightclub and pub in Sydney. Um, yeah, so my stripping career or my performance career was completely done. So, I lost friends, I lost respect. Um, and basically, yeah, I was, charged with a sexual assault and I had to wear it. And at the time, it was pretty much around the same time as lockdown was kind of happening. I basically had court battles that lasted, years, especially because it was lockdown too. So, it cost me thousands of dollars to try to defend myself, multiple court hearings, and at the time I've got no job because my trade is gone. No one's going to hire me because I'm banned from every single nightclub. My name's tarnished for the assault. And the trade that I've been working on for so many years and leveled myself up to a point where I could actually be a manager and a host of a show has just completely been broken. No attention, no one cared. Everyone kind of just, I just disappeared into the background. You know, so I fell, and this was the lesson that I needed. So after that night, I never touched a drop of alcohol again. Um, Never partied, never stepped foot into a nightclub. After that night, I've never been to a nightclub. I've never been to even a pub. Um, so yeah, that was it, and that was the moment that I said never again. Because to be honest, I had problems with alcohol before, but that finally was the final straw because I lost so much, and you know, again, the addiction, the obsession, the stimulation got me to a point where you know I lost it all. And now I'm going to lose more because now I've got these battles in court with these lawyers, and these lawyers didn't give a shit either. I made a mistake. I mistook the wrong person for someone else, and I paid the price. So I left that toxic environment for good. That was it. No more nightclubs, no more stripping, no more partying, nothing. I got sober and I went back into personal training. I got an opportunity to be a personal trainer and I took it with both hands. I hadn't felt that passion, for it since I was, when I got qualified when I was 16. So I also continued to try to stay on with the acting, and bit by bit, I kind of worked on that craft. Got some short films done, some commercials, and recently I just finished a film, so I'm pretty happy with that. I found myself through ancient wisdom, and I ended up realizing who I truly am. Training my body, my mind, and my spirit became my new drug. The ancient wisdom and understanding who I am helped me fill the void that I was trying to numb for so long. Every day was a battle, but I kept going, and eventually I became someone new. So I just started to understand who I truly am, and I am the creator of my life. And these vices and these addictions and this chase of stimulation, I realized I was chasing something because I wanted to find something, you know, bigger than myself. I was looking for something. And in the end, I realized that I was just looking for myself, my true self, who I truly am at my core. So if you're struggling with addiction, self doubt, or feeling lost in life, then listen to me because I've been there. You're not broken. You're not too far gone. You can change. just like I did. Now, here's how I turned it around. So, firstly, I cut out all the toxic influences. I stopped going to nightclubs. I stopped going to bars. Um, you know, I had to stay away from anything to do with stripping. So, um, I had to let go of these habits, these vices, this addiction to stimulation that kept me chasing something on the outside of myself. So, most commonly, it's, sex, alcohol, and drugs, right? So, for a period of time, I also had a porn addiction. So, because there wasn't women around, then I turned to porn. Then, for a period of time, it was not alcohol, but then it became weed. And then, when it wasn't weed, it was cigarettes. And it was just continuous, I just, even after the getting rid of the cocaine and the alcohol, it just switched lanes. It went into cigarettes and weed for a long period of time, and also the porn. So I had to cut those out completely. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. There's periods of time where I crave cigarettes. I might even have one here or there, and I might have to have a nicotine pouch or like a Zyn just to keep it at bay. Um, Also, caffeine as well. So, caffeine for me is another vice, and I still struggle with that from time to time because the vices just transfer to somewhere else. So, that's something. You might be struggling with smaller things. Also, even social media. Sometimes I find myself doom scrolling and looking at videos that aren't really serving me. It's the constant need for stimulation that gets you. So you need to try to set boundaries, whether it be with your phone or with porn or with alcohol or with cigarettes or drugs, whatever it is. You need to start setting these boundaries for yourself, just like I set them, and bit by bit you get better. You basically need to remove anything that's keeping you trapped. You need to look at yourself and say, okay, what is hurting me? I need to let that go. And you need to try to replace that with something, positive. So what you need to be doing is get rid of the toxic habits, replace those habits with something that is going to help you become your best. So for me, it was fitness and health. Looking after yourself could help you save your life. I know it helped me. So exercise and eating well gives you structure, gives you discipline, and it gives you self-worth. It gives you a high level of self-image. So, for me, I got into things like meditation. You know, understanding ancient wisdom. Who I truly am at my core. What am I? You know, not as just human being, but what is my spirit? What is my soul? Understanding that I'm the creator of my reality, and these vices and these things that are holding me down is pulling back my true potential. So the more that I understood this, the more that I was liberated and I felt more free. So finding something that's going to help you. Another thing is breath work, affirmations. There's a lot of things that you can do, but you've got to find your path. Basically, you've got to get rid of the shit and embrace the good stuff. Uh, you also need to find your purpose. I found my purpose. My purpose is to help others. And, if people can shortcut from the lesson that I've learned to then, listen to my story and then, bypass getting into the addiction, then that's what I'm here for. Also, the acting. So I can still express myself to my, fullest potential, but I don't have to be at a nightclub and smashing drinks down and getting coked out. I can play these characters that are going through these situations and imaginatively, just like a kid, when you're playing dress ups, I can do the same thing rather than having to get into such a bad state. So that helps me. And also, as I said, the personal training, helping people, overcome their battles and become their best version. Um, you got to find your passion. As I said, the passion for me is the acting and also the helping people become their best. And that currency, when someone tells me that they overcame something and I helped them, or they had struggles and now they're feeling better, or giving the best body and now they feel really good about themselves. That for me is worth more than any money could ever, any money could ever, you know, any money. All right, let's just go with that. Yeah, you got to find something that gives your life meaning. So this gives my life meaning. The helping others, be their best. It gives me something to live for. The other thing, embracing spirituality. So, faith, wisdom, as I said, getting into meditation and prayer and contemplating who I truly am. That helped me a lot. And, something that connects you to your higher self. So you don't have to straight away get into meditation, but you might want to just start reading some literature that is helping you understand who you truly are at your core. It will start to liberate you and make you feel very empowered. And you can never stop fighting. It's always going to be a battle. There's always going to be a war on. There's always going to be a moment where you're going to want to slip up. I know there's moments where I want to slip up all the time. And there's moments where I do slip up. But these days, my vices have kind of switched to rather it being the coke or the alcohol or the weed. Every now and again, it's I want to have a cigarette or I want to eat like sugary treats or I want to have caffeine. I want to get caffeined up and stimulated. So it's a lesser of an evil, but there still is those evils there. And, I'm fighting every day. But you just got to keep fighting. You got to start the fight. You got to understand that you are in a battle, and you got to stop these things letting them take over you and win. It's up to you. You can choose. You stay stuck or you rise up. It's your choice. So if my story hits home, don't just sit there. Take action. Subscribe to this channel because I'm here to help you transform your body, your mind, and your soul. I'm going to come at you with all these tips, tools, weapons, and knowledge that has helped me overcome these things. Drop a comment below. What's your biggest struggle at the moment? I'm here for you all. I'm here to help every single one of you get over what your struggles are, no matter how big or small they may be. And if you're ready to change, let's do this together. Hit the like button and share this with someone that might need it. Someone that needs to see it right now. Because, we're all going through our battles. And you can get through this. I did. So let's do this together. Let's have a crack. Let's be our best selves as one. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.